Hello everyone, it's Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to have two cards in it using the Scrapping for Less card kit that they sent me. And if you're interested in watching that review, I'll have it linked in the description box. You can check that out. Lots of good stuff in this card kit. So we're getting started with the Newton's Nook Puppy Pals stamp set, the Echo Park Dog Tails pattern paper, a 4.5 by 5.5 panel of the snow cone cardstock, and we're going to use the dog bone stencil that's included in the kit as well. So I've got that in my MISTI, and we're going to use some Ink on 3 blackout ink for this to stamp it down. And this is a nice ink to have in your stash because it's a hybrid ink, so you can use it for watercoloring, Copic markers, colored pencil, really any of your different color medium, zigs, the Teresa brush markers, kind of anything you want, you can use this ink and it won't bleed. So the pattern paper strip I've cut is 2 inches wide. And I also have a panel of the Nina that's included in the kit cut to 4.25 by 5.5 as well. So we're going to go in and ink up our stencil. And I've just used 2 tones of brown ink. One is lighter, one is darker. And that just gives you a little bit more interest in the background. And then I've cut up a post-it note to mask off the edges because I put the stencil on a diagonal. And by using the masking, you avoid harsh edges or harsh lines if you accidentally blend over the edge. And now I'm just going in and filling in those corners a little bit. So if you're a pet lover or you have friends that are pet lovers, this kit would be a really great thing because it's got several different stamp sets in it. And it's really all revolving around pets, dogs and cats. There's no alternative animals that you see these days like ferrets and pigs and whatnot. So here is our puppy image that we've stamped out on the Nina. And I'm going to go in with some Copic markers in color. And I'm doing the dog on the right in some dark gray tones, trying to get like a black dog. And then the one on the left we'll do some brown tones with, well, lighter and darker to kind of highlight those spots and give them a little bit more texture. So I'm going to go ahead and put some music on so you're not just listening to silence. And I will catch back up with you in a minute. So I've loosely put my card together, and I've done that so I can place my sentiment in the space where I want it. So we're going to do some heat embossing. I'm using some Versamark for my ink because it's clear sticky ink. And I'm going to use Nouveau Black embossing powder because I like it nice and shiny and really stand out, so it shows up against the stenciling in the background. But you can use any black embossing powder you want. A sparkle one, Ranger is a really pretty sparkle one that would look nice here too. If you have trouble heat embossing, after you do your stamping and you add your powder, let your heat gun turn on and run for 30 to 60 seconds. And that way it's nice and hot when you put it on the embossing. It will melt faster and lead to less warping on your cardstock. So I'm just going to use some Be Creative tape, or sometimes called score tape as well, on the back of my pattern paper. I'm going to adhere that down. And then I'm going to use score tape on the back of my colored piece as well. And I die cut that using a simple circle die. And the circle die measures, let's see here, 2.5 inches. No, I lied. 3.5 inches across. Any circle die would work. I think mine are Sizzix, but they're, I don't know, like 8 years old. But any circle die would work. You could use a stitch circle die. That would be really cute here too. Or even a scalloped one would be cute as well. And that pretty much finishes up the first card. So in jumping into the second card, we're going to go in and do the same stenciling, but I've changed it by doing one tone of brown ink, and this happens to be Cup of Joe by Hero Arts. Any brown one will work that you've got in your stash. And I'm using the stencil horizontally versus diagonally. I'm just going to go over that with my ink blending tool and make sure it's nice and even. And then to kind of kick this up a little bit, we're going to use some Nouveau Glimmer Paste. And I decided that I wanted to add the glimmer paste after I kind of checked it out and was like, this needs a little something. So this is a glitter paste. It's a clear paste, dries clear, but it's got a lot of really pretty iridescent glitter in it. And this one is by Nouveau. It's called Moonstone. But a lot of companies make really pretty glitter paste now. Brutus Monroe has some new ones out. Bo Bunny is another brand I really like for these. And Moonstone is the color of that one. So when it dries, it will show the brown ink through. And that'll probably take anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes to dry, depending on how thick you add it on. So here's some more Copic coloring for the same stamp, same cardstock, same ink. And I'm just going to do a little bit different colors on the dogs to give you a little bit of variety. And I'll go ahead and put some music on while I color, and then I will catch back up with you in a minute. done coloring for this one, I wanted to jump in and kind of describe what I'm doing with the ground. So what I do with my Copic images is add a little bit of gray underneath with their animals, kids, whatever the image is, to kind of ground them so they're not floating. And if you struggle with knowing where to add the shadows for the ground, I don't know if this is right or wrong, this is what I do and I like how it looks. I take my darker color, in this case it was C4, and add right underneath where the image is standing or sitting, and then blend it out with a C0 or C000. And I just extend the darkest just a little bit beyond the edges of my image, just so it looks like the light would be coming down from the top. And then we're going to cut that out using the same circle die as the first card. So here I've got everything put together, same cardstocks, and for this one, the pattern paper it's cut to 1.5 inches wide and then 4.25 inches long. We're just going to adhere that down. And then I'm going to go in with some sequins from the card kit and kind of put those in. And I wanted to use the same colors that are in that pattern paper and kind of tie it all together. And I'm also using some Nouveau glitter gloss pen on the collar and the little handkerchief, just to give it a little bit of oomph. So that is our 2 cards. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.